There are a couple of our colleagues sitting in New York listening very closely to what it is you had to say. Steve Malzberg and Dennis Michael Lynch. Steve Malzberg, you have been watching the political discourse in this country for quite some time now. I'm curious, DML told us a little bit earlier that immigration and the way Trump attacks it really captures where America is. I don't mean to, I'm paraphrasing what DML had to say. Is immigration the frustrating, driving issue of this election, in your opinion, Steve?
Well, I think it certainly started out that way when Trump announced his candidacy, and he took a lot of heat from the media, and I think that catapulted him to where he is and where he has stayed. I think that what drives the Trump presidency or the candidacy at this point and keeps him where he is a number of issues, not the least of which is the dissatisfaction with the Republicans in Washington. I think he settled something, and I don't know that he had to, but the Nikki Haley performance from the other night, where she blatantly attacked not only the front runner of the Republican presidential party, but she also attacked the Republicans in Congress, which is something Chris Christie did when he was the keynote for Mitt Romney. And he made up with her. He made nice with her. She's my friend. All's forgiven. There's no problem. And he could have made an issue of that. I just think it's total dissatisfaction with the rhinos and the leadership in Washington. And you saw it with the budget deal that was made. You saw it with even the selection of Nikki Haley by McConnell and Ryan, who had to know what she was going to say against Trump. I just think that's what drives his candidacy, not specifically immigration anymore. I think it's broadened way out.
So DML, it's more than immigration. It's anti-Washington, anti-politician, pro-accomplishment, pro-action. Does that sum up Trump and his appeal?
It does, but at the same time, I'm going to push back a bit on what Steve just said there. If tomorrow Donald Trump came out and said, you know, I've been thinking about it a little bit more, and I'm not going to deport everybody who's in the country. I think what I'm going to try to do is something maybe on a work permit process, something. But don't worry, they'll never be citizens. He would drop like a rock. He would drop like a rock. One of the reasons why Ted Cruz has been struggling in some cases is because people haven't been necessarily certain where he stood on the immigration level. First, he was going to give out 320,000 more work permits, visas to people to come over here. Then it was, oh, no, I just did that as a trick. I mean, you don't know where he really stands. So to that point, I disagree. Another thing you said that was very important. You said Steve has been covering this for decades. I have not. 5 years ago, I couldn't even tell you. If you said you were going to a tea party, I'd say, what is that? So what got me so engaged as the everyday American who wasn't into this sort of thing? It's the immigration. I see my country. I see my culture. I see jobs, the stagnation, all of it because of this one thing. And so if you fix immigration, all these other things that we're talking about, healthcare, schools, national security, those things start to get better. And people understand that. They may not want to say it out loud. And the one thing Trump has done is he's given the American people the license to say, I don't like this. It's not anti-immigrant to be pro-America. And I think that's what Trump has done. He's hit that home.
And let me make a prediction. If Trump gets the nomination, he will walk it back. He will need a Suzanne Martinez. He will need a Nikki Haley. He will need someone like that on his ticket, maybe even a Ted Cruz.
How is that walking it back? That's not walking it back.
He will, if you let me finish.
Let me do this.
He will walk back his policy like he did with the Muslim policy. All of a sudden, remember, first it was not let all Muslims in. Then it was, well, until it's fixed. Well, maybe not that. So he will not stick to this. Everyone will be deported if he's the nominee. It would be suicide.
I want to get
suicide if he didn't stick to his guns.